So today I wanted to go into a bit of a touchy subject. All my life, I've heard the phrase like never meet your heroes. You know, the people that you love, the people that you respect, don't meet them because you will be disappointed every single time. And I always thought that was ridiculous because like everyone has someone they love, whether it's, you know, a musician, a actor, a plumber, whoever it is. Like everyone has someone that they admire, they respect. Why wouldn't you want to meet the person whose work you respect, who, you know, you just want to be in a room with to like pick their brain and kind of see how their mind works? Well, let me tell you, this past year, I have had the pleasure of meeting a couple of people that I truly admire and respect. And when I tell you the heartbreak, the terror, there's a lot to this conversation, and I don't want to just, you know, make it black and white because it's not a black and white conversation. So today I wanted to just dive into the phenomenon of whether or not I think you should meet your favorite celebrities or heroes or influencers or whoever it is. And newsflash, not to like spoil anything, but usually they're not that great. But let's dive into it. So in the past, maybe a year or so, I have just had the opportunity to be around of a lot of celebrity type people. And when I say celebrities, I don't necessarily mean like, you know, I'm not having lunch at Olive Garden with Beyonce, but I am around people who are like you would recognize, you know, in movies, TV shows, social media influencers, people that are just like notable in their field and they have a lot of eyes on them and their content. Over the past year, like I've been working at a place where we throw a lot of events, and one of the jobs that I have is booking talent. And so like singers, comedians, musicians, actors, whatever it is, like booking them to put on a show or whatever for whatever event that we're doing. And it's not like I'm with this person like, hi, shake your hand, bye. It's like I'm with this person for multiple days. I'm having multiple conversations with them and their team. Like it's very much a multiple day, sometimes week long, like, you know, experience of being around these people. So I feel like at this point I have some sense of, I recognize the common denominators with this whole thing. And I was talking to a friend the other day. I was just telling him stories about stuff and he was like, it's so interesting to hear your perspective because he's never met, you know, a celebrity or someone who's been on movie or TV or whatever. And so he's just like, tell me more, like give me the tea, like let me know. And so I don't know, I just feel like I have a lot to say about this, and it's something that many people don't encounter on a daily basis. So why not just, you know, why not spill all the secrets? I'm gonna do my best in this video not to say anyone's name or like even allude to someone that you might think is someone, but I am going to be as truthful as I can in terms of my experience with these different people. As with meeting any stranger, it's hard to find something to talk about initially. And this is, I have a kind of a personal story about this. There's a certain person that I know very well. They were on a season of one of my favorite TV shows, and we booked them for a gig. And I didn't know what to talk about when I first kind of started interacting with them. Because the thing is like the first thing that your mind goes to is you want to talk to this person about the thing that you know them for, right? Like, oh my gosh, I love your music. I love this music video you did, you were so snatched and it was amazing and whatever. But like on the other end, that person, I promise you, most likely does not really want to talk about that thing because they've probably talked about that exact thing so much. And it's just kind of, it becomes like a repetitive thing. It becomes kind of numb, like they get kind of numb to it. I remember there was one night, it was like a party. Like it was like everyone was drinking and whatever. And I went up to them and I was just like, hi, like I love you so much. I want you to know that I really respect you. And I just love, you know, this thing that you do. I don't want to give too many details, but I love watching you on this thing. And they were just like, oh, like, thank you. That's super, super sweet. And then it's like, okay, what next? What do we talk about now? And then it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like, outside of loving you for that, like, I don't really know much about you. And so then you just feel weird, you feel awkward, you feel embarrassed. And I'm gonna go into the embarrassment a little more later in the video, but you only know them for one thing. And so once that thing is over, unless you really hit it off, it's just weird. So I have another quick story to tell you, and this is about when I met one of my, I mean, they're not my favorite singer anymore, but at a certain point, they were like one of my top like 5 favorite singers. Like I listen to them constantly. I'm not gonna tell you if it's a guy or a girl because you may get me in trouble. No, not today. But when I tell you I was obsessed, loved, I wanted to be like them so bad. lubricate the throat. Okay. So it was like a party. I knew they were gonna be there, and I was like building this up in my mind. I was like, okay, when I get there, I'm gonna be like, hello. I love you so much. You were like one of my biggest inspirations. I've been following you since like I was a child. Like I really just love what you do. I literally like acted it out. I had a whole like bit planned. I get to the party and I see them in the corner and they're with like a group of people, like their friends or whatever. I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep my distance. I'm gonna like stay back or whatever. And then one of my friends at the party was like, hey, like, you know who that is? And I was like, yes, I know who that is. And so like, I was just trying to keep my cool, like make conversation or whatever until I could like, you know, make my move. And so like later on in the party, we just happened to cross paths and I was like, hey, so-and-so, I just want you to know, like, I really, really respect you. I love your music. I love what you do. I think you're an incredible performer. Like, you're just awesome. I really, really respect you. I've been following you since I was in middle school. And they were just like, aw, you want a picture? I was like, yeah, I think so. Yeah. And so then we took a picture and then they were just like, okay, well, bye. I was like, oh, I don't know what I expected, to be honest with you. And like for the rest of the night, like they kind of like avoided me at all costs. Like they avoided eye contact. Literally, if we walked the same way, they walked the whole, like, no. It just was like, once that was over, it was over. And it completely, I don't know what I expected. I kind of thought like they would be like, you know, thank you so much. Like what's your name? Like, whatever. I don't know. I just thought it would be like a conversation, especially because we were at like a party. Like, it wasn't like we were just like, it was in passing and, you know, we were walking in and out of McDonald's and we just happened to like, no, it's like we literally were at a party where the whole purpose is like to have conversations. And so it was just this weird, like, like, okay. And then for the rest of the party, besides them like avoiding me, they were kind of rude to a lot of the other people there, and I would witness it because I was obviously aware of their presence in the room, and it just put like a weird sour taste in my mouth. And I was like, okay, this is not what I thought it was gonna be. And yeah, no thanks. And it literally kind of ruined their whole vibe for me for whatever reason. Like, I have not listened to their music the same ever since I met them in person, which kind of sucks. We create our own narratives about people. I think it's just a natural human thing to do when it comes to social media, where you put your best foot forward all the time. You're always like putting out your best photos, your best videos, you know, and even when you put out your best stuff, even that is then taken and grinded through, you know, AI and Facetune and whatever. And so everyone, it's like you view people as like gods almost. Like, they never poop, they never fart, they never like burp, they never like trip over the sidewalk. Like, they're just like, they're these omnipotent beings. Can you imagine Beyonce on the toilet? Because I can't. Social media, like, it not only like allows you or like encourages you to put people on like a pedestal because everything is so flawless. It also makes you feel like you're closer to them than you are. Like, they're far away, but they're also right here. Everything that you love about them, besides like their artistry, is stuff that you kind of have crafted on your own. And that's something that I think a lot of us have to really reel in sometimes, is that like, these people are still just people. Just because we love their artistry doesn't mean they're not just people who still have flaws, who still go to the bathroom. Like, they're still humans. There's a lot of stuff going on with Ariana Grande right now, and I've been following that girl since she was young. Like, I found her before, or around, it was either before Victoria's or very, very close to Victoria's, like videos online of her. I don't know her, and to be so honest with you, every interview that I see of her, I'm just kind of like, I love your music. Your voice is incredible. The harmonies are incredible. The backup vocals are incredible. Her arrangement, her pen, she's an incredible artist. Like, musician, like, down. Musicianship out, like, solar. What? But every interview that I've seen of her, I've never really felt like a warm feeling. I've always felt like, I don't know that we would be friends in real life. And every time a new story comes out about her, I'm just like, ugh. Like, I don't know her in person, but it's just, I use that as an example of like, just because you love someone's artistry does not mean they are not a flawed person. And everything that's happened with her is alleged. I'm not saying that she, you know, did any of the things with any of the dudes that she did. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you don't know someone as much as you think you do. So just enjoy the artistry if you can, and let that be that, you know? The longer you admire someone, especially someone who you admire from afar, the more you start to craft your own narrative about that person, right? You only really focus on the good parts about their situation. You just kind of romanticize being where they are, basically. And because of that, you don't want to mess up. You don't want to look stupid in front of them. So you are increasingly more nervous around them. I mentioned before that when you meet a celebrity and you want to like have a conversation with them, you really can only have a conversation about the things that you know about them. And oftentimes that is so curated. It's only like a very isolated thing. Like you love their music, so all you can talk about with them is their music. Or you heard them say this in an interview, so all you can talk about is how you feel, you know, seen because they also put Doritos in their like white bread or something. There are very specific things that you can talk about. And I don't think people really realize that like when you meet the person that you admire, there's not a lot of substance to that conversation. And so you are most likely going to embarrass yourself. You're going to be so flustered that you start shaking, your hands start sweating, you start looking around like you don't know where you are, or you're staring them in the eye because you can't believe you're in like this, they're breathing your air. You're gonna be saying the dumbest things because you can't like form coherent sentences. Like I don't love it. I don't love it. You're putting yourself in a position where it's not an even playing field. They don't know who you are. You know very much about them, sort of. And so you have such a high view of them, and you get so flustered. Like I think people underestimate how uncomfortable it is to meet someone that you view as a god in real life, because not only are you trying to figure out what to say, you're also like visually dissecting them. Like, you have a pimple right here. I didn't know you had pimples. I've seen your photo of you and your skin looks flawless. It's like porcelain. Your profile says that you're 6'3", but in person you're actually 5'9". You're looking them over and dissecting them and comparing it to what your vision was. And most of the time that's just not gonna be what you think. And when you're having a conversation with somebody, the last thing you want to be doing is over analyzing everything going on, because all that does is add to your weirdness. You're shaking, you're sweating because you're so anxious that you like, your mind is just going a million miles a minute, and it's just like, ugh, it's the worst. The people that you like admire in terms of their looks, like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Like your Instagram crushes and stuff, like, wow, how can a person just be so gorgeous? Like, I promise you, they're probably not. I cannot tell you how many people that I've seen in public that I'm like, ooh, my God. I have no desire to meet my Insta crushes in person because I know they don't look like that. I know it. I just know, you know, like there's been times where I've met like celebrities that I've really admired and I'm just like, who? In a sense, they can really do whatever they want with you. They can literally be like, oh my gosh, I love you so much, thank you. You know what I need from you? I need you to spend your money, like the money you made from your last paycheck, and go get me a Subway sandwich. Yeah. I would love you so much. If Beyonce told me to spend my own money to buy her a Subway sandwich, like in person to my face, like I breathed her air and she told me to buy a Subway sandwich, I literally would be like, oh, okay, well, I just spent $300 on your merch, but like, I got you, girl. Let me run. Stay here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna run. The lines might be long, but I'll get you that Subway sandwich with honey mustard. Like, I'm gonna get it done. They can literally do whatever they want with you because you view them as this like omnipotent God being. If you are already a little insecure, they can shatter you. You are literally putty in their hands. They can play with you however they want to. And that phenomenon, I'm just not a big fan of. It just is what it is. Like, what do you really do about that? When you meet someone that you really respect, of course you want to impress them. And on the flip side, in the same way that they can completely shatter your spirit by being like, oh, I wish you looked better. I thought my fans were cute. They also, on the flip side, can be like, wow, like, yeah. I know you. I recognize you. I've seen you online, and I think that you are incredibly talented. Can you... I've used Beyonce as an example because she is like if Beyonce looked me in the eye and was like, oh, I've seen you online. Like, yeah, I know of you. I love your style. I love your voice. Like, you're going places, girl. I would literally melt. Like, I would be water on the floor make me sweat, make me water. It really just depends on, you know, where you're at confidence wise and what type of day they're having, honestly. If they're having a bad day and you just happen to be in like the crossfire, like good luck, girl. We almost admire this, like they have standards and they're, you know, they're not, why would you put what'd she say? Kim said a quote like, why would you put a sticker on a Bentley or something? Little things like that I feel like people admire. You admire someone who has self-confidence and standards and like holds themselves to a certain standard. But sometimes that bleeds into them then feeling like they are just inherently deserving of certain things and just better than everyone around them. They're used to getting their way. They're used to having rules bent in order to satisfy their needs, whatever they may be. Sometimes that's fine. Like if you're at a restaurant and, you know, okay, you're at Red Robin and Michelle Obama comes in, you are naturally going to be like, oh my gosh, like, hello, like we have burgers. Like you're automatically going to want to seat her before everyone else because you're not going to have Michelle Obama waiting in the lobby. Like, are you kidding? Then she sits down with her family. Barack is next to her. Literally the last president of the United States is sitting next to her. Well, the last president that I recognize. And they're like, yeah, we want, you know, the bacon cheeseburger with an extra patty and extra lettuce. And then you go, okay, that sounds good. Like it'll be out in 20 minutes. And they go, 20 minutes? Oh, I'm sorry. We gotta go. We gotta be out of here in like 10. I promise you, you will make that burger in 5 minutes. Like it's just gonna happen. Like there's just a certain like star-studded, like, oh my gosh, you have to cater to them. You have to, because the last thing you want is Michelle Obama calling the owner of Red Robin to tell them that the employee Jeremiah didn't bring them out their burger when they needed it. Like that's ridiculous. And some celebrities, like they've been doing this so long that they really have no problem making those around them feel smaller than them. And it is, I've seen it in person, specifically at restaurants where people like, they talk to the waiter in like the worst way possible. And you just kind of see their confidence like slowly drop. It is one of the saddest things that I've ever witnessed in person. A lot of times there's just this overall like fakeness in the interactions you have with them, and it really frustrates me. This is not just like a celebrity thing, it's also like an influencer thing. Like in LA and stuff like that, it is not uncommon for you to meet someone, you think you really hit it off with them, and then at the end of your interaction or whatever, you're like, hey, we should get lunch. And they're like, yeah, like let's do it. Like, I'm so down. I talk about food a lot. But then when you go to hit them up, like, hey, you know, I'm down to get pizza, they're just like, ugh, I didn't think you were serious. Or they just don't respond to you at all. That type of like, you know, you have to say the nice thing in the moment is something that I have found is pretty universal around all the well-known people that I've met. Not every single one. Like, I don't want to make it seem like every single person of note is the worst person ever. That's not the case. I'm kind of just going over like the worst examples. Quick story. There was an event, a situation where I forgot my sunglasses at home. So I went to H&M, bought me some $10 sunglasses. They were super cute. I loved them. I thought I looked really snazzy and nice in them. And somebody came up to me, a celebrity person, and they were just like, oh, are those Ray-Bans? I was like, you know, damn. What? It's that little, it's those, there's so many little microaggressions. It makes me want to scream. I could go on and on about those little stories. Like you can literally see, you know damn well these are not Ray-Bans. It feels like there's so many instances where all they really have to talk about is money, new jobs they're booking, or talking about other people, whether it's like crap talking other people or like, you know, hyping up like, oh, I know this person, I know that person. And like, I just had lunch with Heidi Klum. It's this very just like, okay, like, did you get the pasta? Like, I don't care. I don't know. I love that we are in a day and age where the traditional celebrity, the idea of them being so like gods is coming down lower and lower and lower because the barrier to entry of being like someone of note is lowering as well. Like you can literally be a random and blow up on Instagram and then all of a sudden you are on a very similar level as a lot of these other celebrities. I love that. I love that the world is changing and I love that I don't know, I feel like there's more of an authenticity to the way a lot of people get famous nowadays. Like they're still only putting out their most positive, you know, aspects, but it just feels like you can really start to stand people who you feel really align with your core values and who you are as a person. And I love that we are more and more as time goes on starting to really admire people who are just kind of the average person. I don't know. I just think it's really cool. So do I think that it is smart to meet your heroes? I would say it depends. It really depends on how much you love them, how much you know about them as a person, and how much self-confidence you have. So those are just a few of my experiences. I have story times. Like if you really want more stories, I have plenty of them. So let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you have had any experiences with celebrities or kind of what your experience is like with meeting someone that you admire or just someone of note and what that was like. I would love to kind of, you know, chat with you guys about that down below and kind of hear your experiences. But yeah, I had to get that off my chest. So I appreciate you for listening. Subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next one.